Sure.
So let's just start with a few words about you. Tell us a little bit about where you are, what you do.
Sure. So I'm an executive and leadership coach. I'm based in Amsterdam. I've been living here for the past 8 years, and I'm having my business since just 2 years, and I've been in
2 years.
TIR since February this year, till this year. And I support CEOs of scale-ups in their journey to create a legacy. So that they kind of step into that level of leadership that is not only about them and their ego anymore, but they really serve everyone around them, and they create much bigger impact.
You help them grow hearts.
Yes, exactly. Well, remember their hearts. I would
Remember
say.
the heart.
We
Yes.
all have them.
It's outside, out of the ego into the heart. I love that.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Well, that should be my tagline.
There you go. But I think you might offend somebody, so
Yes.
don't do that. So Paulina, tell us what was happening for you in terms of your results, in terms of your life when we met, and what inspired you to invest in yourself?
Yeah, I had to remember that because it seems so long ago. So before, and it's nice to actually kind of summarize the whole year, because it's almost 1 year. Before last year, I started my own business. I was, going slowly, kind of,
Yes.
mid-year, I started to make some money. Towards the end of the year, I was making about maybe 4 or 5K on average. And I had last year maybe a month. The peak month was about 8K once, and then, it went kind of down. So my average was around 4K, 4 or 5K. And after I joined TIR, and until today, which is less than a year, I must say that I quadrupled my business, and I'm now, at over, easily 6 figures.
Yeah.
And I hit as much as 20,000 in a month, and few times, not only once. So I feel like it's really exceptional, and it's only my 2nd year in business. So I definitely think that this is something to celebrate.
Isn't it like so interesting? So many people tell you, oh, you have to wait this amount of years to succeed in your business. But when you hire mentors, and I think you've been doing that ever since you launched, you do shortcuts, right? So whatever an average entrepreneur would achieve in 5 years, you do it in 6 months.
Absolutely. And it takes mentors, like you said. It's not only one. TIR definitely, and with your help, it was just incredible to fix my mind and my thinking. On the side, I also invest in business coaches. Over time, I invested in few. And I must say that at the beginning, I was like kind of worried that I had a business coach and that I would be disloyal, because now here I want to have another mentor, but they are completely different things, to be honest. And I'm really so glad that I did that. And I continue always to have mentors, because you need them if you want to really excel.
Yes, apparently Oprah Winfrey has 5 mentors.
Yeah, exactly. Or I heard at the time that she had 4, but maybe now she's
maybe it's 4, but she basically hires coaches for everything, right? And that includes fitness, everything. So Paulina, let's talk about I think maybe, do you want to share a little bit about also about those deals, or like the type of clients that you started attracting when you started thinking into results? Because you had some really nice contracts that you attracted. Do you want to share about that?
Sure. So I started to work with not only CEOs, but with them and their executive team. So I really stepped into that other level of working with their whole C-level type of leaders. And after joining TIR just a few months in, my first big deal was 45,000, I believe, euro, for the leadership program with one of the clients. And the funny thing there was that he was my first CEO client, and I was kind of treating him like, oh wow, right, like oh my God. And he kept asking me about the leadership program, and I kept like thinking, I later, another time, I don't even know. I didn't really hear it. Like I remember he was talking about it. He was actually asking for it, but I never kind of stepped into doing it, right? And then one day after TIR, I was like, wait a minute, why don't I just create an offer and like just give it to you? And
so
I did.
good. You had a client asking for your service, and you're like, oh, there's someone who wants to give me 45 grand. No problem.
Exactly.
I love it. So beautiful.
And then after that, I had another client come in, and basically from just a client maybe joining right then and there, he's decided to join the whole, like, get the whole shebang going, and so that really started to change with me, changing my level of thinking really, and allowing that I can serve at that level, right, with that kind of money, and create that kind of change. So I didn't really work more. I still work 3 days a week. And I'm not, I take plenty of breaks. I go for lunch out and things like that. So
I think, you've done the best thing that a new entrepreneur can do. And I did the same thing immediately when I started my business. I hired a mentor. And to me, having someone leading you and guiding you and laying it out for you, both in terms of your entrepreneurial mindset and strategies, is ensuring your success. I think a lot of people start businesses and they may be struggling, not because they're not good at what they do, but it's just they don't have the business mindset and the business skills. And that was such a perfect decision to do. What a difference to corporate world, isn't it?
It is. And I just had this thought, which I think is intuitive, so I will share it. We had different corporate jobs, right? And some jobs we had, for me at least, I had many bosses, and none of them taught me things. Maybe a little bit, right? But most of the things that I had to do, I had to figure out by myself. So when I started doing the business, luckily I started in a coaching space. So I went through transformation myself, and I kind of understood that I can get help. And I had people around me who were kind of telling me that, and I jumped in. But I imagine that any other business or even, coach that just is starting up, they have this pattern of doing it by themselves, right? Figuring by themselves, like doing the free workshops and trying to kind of do it, because that's what we were doing in the corporate world. Like we would roll the sleeves up and just keep going. And there is, oh my God, like seriously, if anyone had ever a boss who would actually lead them through and train them, how much easier that is when someone actually shows you what to do and where to go for what information, right?
And it works. And
it works. Absolutely.
Because when you're doing it yourself, I was speaking to a couple of people over the weekend who were actually starting out businesses, and they invested in all sorts of platforms or location for their beauty salon. And I'm like, have you invested in yourself to become an entrepreneur? Because your mind is operating on an employee mindset, not on an entrepreneur. And, I don't want to say that it doesn't work to start a business and make it successful, but I think it's really hard. I think it's really challenging, and a lot of people struggle, and then they hit the wall and there's nobody to support them. So when you hire a mentor, it's like learning to drive a car, right? You can learn yourself, make mistakes, drive or not, maybe even sometimes fail.
Hopefully not.
Or you invest in a driving instructor for a while. You have it laid out for you. You know what to do. You can ask clarifying questions, and it always works. That to me is the same as doing your business, growing your business from employee to successful entrepreneur yourself versus actually hiring mentors. I think hiring mentors makes sure that you actually get results, which is really, really brilliant. Paulina, you had beautiful, beautiful transformation outside in your results. What do you think has changed inside of you? What's the biggest transformation in terms of who you've become?
Jeez, I don't even know how to answer this in short time, but I think I always answer kind of the same thing when people ask me that.
Yeah.
It's the belief that I can have it.
That's a big one, isn't it?
It is that, you know, coming originally from Poland, having an accent, always feeling that this kind of complex, that who am I to have that? There are always, especially living in Amsterdam in a welfare country, always kind of comparing myself to people who can have it easy, right? And I need to work hard, and maybe it's not available to me.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be enough, or I would be born in this like,
You're the
other group of people who don't deserve that, right? And first of all, I learned that all of us have that feeling. It is in some sort of fashion, right? Like, so no matter if you are American, English, British, or Hawaiian, or I don't know, Balinese, everyone has some sort of not enoughness feeling there going. But the fact that I could believe that I can have a plan to make $1 million, actually €1 million, like next year. That's my goal, right? To make 1 million euro.
I already see this. It's like you're reporting to me in my imagination every day.
Yeah,
I just hit 100,000 per month. Woohoo, brilliant.
And it's funny that I totally believe it, right? Like I know it's happening. I just wonder how it will happen and when. And I already now have my packages at 30,000 euro for 6 months, and I plan to increase them further. So it's just like, and it's not just empty increased prices. Like I absolutely know that the value I offer is worth this much, because my clients do bring back the changes. They're incredible, right? And there's this energy that just at different level and different level and different level. And I don't know, it's just a beautiful game as well to play and explore.
I love what you mentioned about the belief. You know, if I think about myself, you know, I come from small countryside in south of Poland. Here I am making millions and impacting lives. Isn't this amazing? You know, I really deeply believe that where you come from does not define you. It just shapes your habits, your thinking and behavioral habits. And when we change that, then the world is your oyster. There's no limitations. So I actually have a couple of questions that I'm sure our participants would like to know. So there might be participants watching us, and maybe they have other mentors, you know, maybe they have strategic or business mentors. And, you know, sometimes there is that thought, oh, but I already have a mentor. So what would you say about combining what they do with thinking into results? What's the value of hiring me on top of what they're doing with their other mentors?
Great question. I asked that question, by the way, before.
I know. That's why we're helping others now.
And then I remember I was connecting from the airport on the last day, and I heard the answer. I was like, that's it. And I just took my Amex and paid in full. So I would say that the business mentor will teach you strategy, and strategy is 20% of everything, and 80% is psychology. And really every mentor out there says the same thing, or even the numbers can go even higher. It can change, but majority is psychology and the mindset and what you think and how you believe that, and what are you telling to yourself, and what story you repeat to yourself, what patterns you have, right? And all of that stuff. So the strategy coaches, they do also, of course, kind of touch that a little bit, because my business mentor also was touching the energy work and stuff, but that's not nearly what you will get in this program. Like, this program is absolutely exceptional in this understanding of how your thoughts really create everything. it walks you through it. Like if you do the work and trust the process, there is like no way that you can miss something. Like it's not like, oh, I missed this call and I don't know what to do. Like you literally have 2 weeks of every class, right, to repeat and repeat and over again, and have so many teachings from you, and it just like incredible amount of knowledge and also application and studying how to actually create that, right? There is so much support in the studying groups and accountability, and my accountability partner, we are like besties now. Like I wouldn't, yeah.
I love it.
Actually, when we are doing the Abraham in Amsterdam, she's coming and she's gonna stay at my place. So
love
like,
it.
things like
love
that,
it.
you know, you build friendship, really friendships for life, because you go so deeply into your mind and soul and everything in this program. So I would say that it absolutely doesn't exclude each other. I also have a strategic mentor on top of working with you. I have healers on top of that. I do, you know, psychology
you do
sessions.
quite a bit.
I have at least 4 or 5 different teachers. I do Tony Robbins. I do everything, right? Like and that doesn't absolutely exclude this work. It's complementary, and it's nothing like that, right? Like you cannot actually find it in anything.
You just became Oprah Winfrey right after leaving corporate world.
Yeah, I am.
Make sure I have a mentor around healing, my energy, mentor around mindset, mentor around strategy, fitness mentor. I'm just going to have them.
I do have a fitness mentor.
Well, there you go. And I'm going to be super successful. Love it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I learned that as well, right? Like that's the self-image. Like if I'm a millionaire, I have that support, right? This year I hired also social media manager. I hired my virtual assistant, which was scary to me, even though I did manage people in the past. But it was somehow, you know, that commitment, that like letting control. But again, I worked through that because of the mindset work, not because someone told me, a strategist told me, do it. Because people were telling me to do it before, but I didn't do it, right? So it's the knowing doing gap that is absolutely key. So I would say I had that tagline for my clients: you already know everything, it's time to do it. So this program is to implement what you know. You may have read the book, and now what? So what did you do with it, right? So this program is to absolutely implement that knowledge.
Love this, Paulina. So the moment when you are making a decision, we know how this works, right? We feel that Eva and her team can help you hit your goal, and then the mind wants to take you out, the environment wants to take you out. What were some of your concerns, and how did you make the right decision?
So concerns. My concerns were about loyalty to my business mentor at the time, I remember.
Yeah, that was also interesting. I've never met that before, but that was really interesting. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was just because I was, by the way, I also was paying, right, monthly fee for that, and wasn't cheap. And I felt like, oh my God, you know, if I do that, then does it mean that I have to leave the other mentor? But also financially, can I afford it? And at the beginning I could. So there was this like psychological thing that I felt like I'm cheating on my other mentor, right? And this was like, okay. So actually I did basically took a phone and recorded a voice message to her saying that I invested in mindset coach, right? But it helped me, what you also clarified back then, that it's very different. It's not, because I also didn't understand that at the beginning, right? That this is the same, making money is the same, but here you have strategy and here you have mindset, it's different, right? It's you need both. So that was it. And also I must say, because I did invest before and I was very scared about that investment, but I knew that it brought results, that anytime I paid, especially the more I paid, the more results I saw that it brings. I had concern about time, but I also remember that when you invest, you clear space. It's the same, like if you want to go to Bali versus you want to go to, I don't know, like Poland, a city in your country. If you buy that ticket to Bali, guess what? You will check what if you need new swimsuit and sunscreen, and you will make everything to fit that trip. You will not worry so much about, you know, the city trip to your like in your country, right? Like it's gonna be very different energy where you will really focus and you will make room for that. And that then becomes priority. This is why also it works. That when you invest that, you put energy into it and you give yourself that that decision and that message that we're doing it. Like we're not just playing around, we are doing it, we're all in, and then you kind of shift everything. So for me, it was, I really listened to my intuition. I also remember someone once told me first comes intuition and second comes sabotage. And I really tend to stick to it.
Yeah.
And I really tend to like recognize it. And then because, you know, I want to be courageous. And if I feel like this is the fear stopping me, then I'm going to go like, oh, even if I feel it everywhere in my body, I will either write it out or whatever, but I will just basically trust that this is the right thing. But, you know, you have to feel it. And I assume that if anyone is watching this one now on Sunday evening, then, I mean, you must be in because you are watching it. Like you're not watching it for fun, right? Like you are just
if
your
you're
higher
here,
self.
you definitely subconsciously want it. You just blocking it. So you need to just trust yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that, Paulina.
Yeah.
I think you might have answered my last question, but I'll ask it anyway. For everybody who is watching.
Sure.
And maybe some of them are still kind of like, you know, in between decision and holding back. What would you say, share with them what to do to make the right decision that will help them really ensure the goal happens in next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, just trust yourself. Ask yourself, will you do the work? Like, will you do the work? Will you show up? If you'll do the work, it will happen. Things will happen, it will come back, money will come back almost immediately, or it will show up, the ideas will come up. And yes, you'll have to do the work, but that's why you are here. You want to do the work, you will do the right work. You will make it, you will make it successful, and you'll have plenty of support, and there's plenty of time that you can, have it done in the program, right? So I would say trust your intuition and don't let the fear stop you and come back again and again. It's just such a waste of time to do these like free master classes. Literally, that's also change, right? That you're showing to yourself, I'm done with the free master classes, it's time to make money. So when you are doing free master classes, also people will buy from you. You're basically putting the message out there that you are real about it and you are serious and you're not just like watching free content out there. This is just very different energy. So I would say really be brave, be courageous. It always pays off, and just do the work and it's gonna be successful.
So good. Paulina, you mentioned that the investment comes back. How long do you think it took you to receive the money back for this investment?
I think that's probably a month. But like within 3 months, I did the 45K deal, and within 6 months, I did another 35K deal net. So I honestly, I quadrupled my business, right? And I could probably, maybe do some growth by working hard, but quadrupling over and over again, and now I'm going for 10x of that. So it's not even that I quadrupled because I'm not staying here. Like I think of where I'm going next is like so much bigger, and I'm already stepping into it, right? Like I already have I'm charging clients money that I would never think of before, right? Like I would meet these people, they would tell me, oh, I do now charge 5,000 per month, and I would be like, oh my god, and I barely can charge 500 a month, and now I charge 5,000 per month, and they are paying me that money, right? So it's not that I'm just raising the prices, but it's actually I'm implementing that, and it's happening, and I'm doing it. I
tell you, Paulina, not only I'm so proud of you, and I love hearing your successes, but you're so good at explaining it as well. I'm just sitting here comfortably. You're doing my work. I love it. I really appreciate you and your time. And I really hope that we inspired you guys with this story. Paulina said something very important. You know, if you're serious about your goal, because there is two ways you can be about your goal. You can be hoping for it, that it's going to happen in next 6 to 12 months. And then you probably are going to end up figuring out yourself. Or you can be totally stubborn, committed decision. I don't care how long I've tried, within the next 6 to 12 months, I hit my goal. And then the question is, what do I need to do in order to hit my goal? And if I'm not seeing these results on my own, then I need to hire a mentor. Am I willing to do what it takes? Am I willing to hire a mentor? If I'm not, am I really committed to this goal, or am I just chancing it? I deeply believe what Paulina said. If you just follow instructions, show up, do the work, you cannot fail. And we're looking forward to working with you. You can hang out with people like myself and Paulina, and you literally cannot fail. So we hope you're going to make the right decision. I'm just going to stop this recording.